Welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV drama series. Today's drama story is about Ryan's ego. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Everyone's just dancing. This takes place towards the end of Shadowbringers, and I had taken a break since late Heavensward, so naturally I knew no one. I joined a random FC for buffs. Just one of the ones who sends out random invites. And within that FC, we meet the star of the story. Let's call him Ryan. Ryan and I clicked immediately, as we were both a bit less casual than the remainder of the FC. I've been a tryhard whenever I play, and he's newer to the game, but getting into raiding. Pretty soon, we're doing all our stuff together, hanging out a fair bit in Discord. I'm relieved to have made a friend. Fast forward a few weeks, and the FC we are in takes a weird anti-parsing stance. But since Ryan and I mostly just hang out with each other, we just quietly leave and figure we'll find another one. He finds one fairly fast, and I join the day after he does. It's a raid focused and looking to field 2 statics going into Endwalker. I know. Don't mix FCs and statics. That's what Pathra said in her last video. I mean, I know now, I guess. So the FC was formed by some people who came over from WoW, but had raided there for a while and done rather well. It's actually a very old FC that's been maintained for many years, but the WoW players, who are IRL friends with the leader, are heading up the raiding aspect. They're new to Final Fantasy XIV raiding, but very organized and super friendly. That's actually what I found also with some WoW players. With my static this Savage tier, a lot of them are WoW players, and they're so organized. Excel spreadsheets and PDF and PowerPoint files like that they make, so it's really nice. I branch out and am also hanging out with their officers a fair bit, being a good guildie and participating in FC events. As Shadowbringers is coming to a close, I'm messing around in PF, sometimes with Ryan, and we talk about the second FC raid group. There are weird rules in the FC, like they have loot priority system and must be followed and tracked, and the group must have at least one FC officer in it to make sure it's run to their standard. But after applying, Ryan and I are accepted not only into the static, but to lead it as 2 new FC officers. I should stress that this FC had a 30 probationary period to just become a full member, and now Ryan and I are officers within like 2 weeks. I don't know. I guess we make good first impressions. I digress. So for the purposes of the FC rulebook, Ryan is appointed the leader, and I'm basically his second as well as the loot master. We hold trials for people in the FC to fill in. It mostly goes not amazing. This is where things get weird. In private, Ryan has said that the order the FC has appointed us means very little to him. We're equals in his mind. That's fine. I have no attachment to following the specific rules either. I just want to raid with my friend. Right after that conversation, Ryan decides that the FC member I've chosen as my co-healer isn't up to it and dismisses him. We argue about it. The FC leaders say that it's Ryan's group and he can do as he likes. I should have bailed then. I almost do. Because IRL, I'm going through a rough breakup. I don't mention it to Ryan in-game or anyone else. I'm just processing it on my own. A few weeks of trials down, we find a full group for Endwalker. Everyone is still playing together. Ryan seems kind of withdrawn. I try to poke him out of his shell a bit, and it kind of works. So Ryan and I go through the Endwalker story together. And for much of it, we're sitting in voice call on Discord. We wind up talking about a lot of stuff. And at that point, it's just been a few weeks since the breakup, and I still haven't mentioned it. He's feeling a lot of pressure to lead the static, and I don't want to burden him about my problems. Out of nowhere, he says to me around level 88 of the MSQ that he's thinking of leaving, both the FC and the static. Going to a new DC to start fresh, he says. I'm blindsided, but also really emotional. He's been my only real social interaction since my boyfriend left. I asked him to reconsider. So this is where I get very stupid. Ryan tells me that he's got feelings for me, but that he feels guilty about them because he knows I'm in a relationship. I choose that moment to tell him about the breakup. I also have some sort of feelings for him, in some way at least, but I'm clear that while I'm not in a relationship at that point, I can't enter into another one, much less a long-distance one. Rebounds are bad. Immediately things change, and he's more engaged with everything. We're pumped going into our first year of Savage as a group. It's fun times. My partner for a lot of mechs is one of our melees. We'll call him Frost. So the melee is Frost. My light party for a lot of mechs is Frost, our RDM, and our Gunbreaker. The other light party has Ryan as its tank, then the other members. So it's natural that I'm talking to the people I'm directly interacting with more. And I make jokes about remembering to not kill Frost with this thing or that thing. It's a lively voice call all around. Good times were had. But Ryan clams up. I should have run for the hills, but instead I spend hours on voice call with him where he accuses me of flirting with Frost, his co-tank, and even our RDM, who I'm fairly certain is gay, by the way, and saying it's hard for him to listen to, which, sir, we are not dating, nor am I interested in any of these other guys. I know I need to be alone for a while after a breakup. I don't run, I just convince him to calm down, but at that point, we're having these conversations almost every day, and it's draining me. I'm also working a minimum 50 hours a week. I'm exhausted. It comes to a head when, as we're making good prog in P3S, Ryan tells me he wants to remove his co-tank for doing more damage than him, which his co-tank was a Gunbreaker, and Ryan was mostly a warrior and sometimes paladin. Of course Gunbreaker is going to do more. Ryan says he feels threatened and it's a man thing. What? As well as wanting to remove Frost because Ryan wants his melee spot. So he wants to remove all these people and then become a melee? From there, things devolve really quickly. I stand up for the two of them, which just gets more accusations of flirting or being interested in them thrown in my face. He keeps threatening to leave to another DC. This is way before DC travel. And in hindsight, it's totally an emotional manipulation tactic by then because he knows I'll beg for him to stick around. I fall into the trap. I'm awake past 2 a.m. and I know damn well I need to be at work at 5. I also reach out to the FC leader again with screenshots of Ryan saying these things to me. I'm told once again that this is Ryan's group and they support Ryan with whatever decision he makes. I faint at work the next day. I've not been taking good care of myself. Barely sleeping and feeling stressed from every angle. I'm taken to the hospital. I talk to the staff there. And bless her, in brackets, one judgmental woman says to me, "You're not eating or sleeping over a man you've never met? Girl, get it right." So I do. I post a message in the officer's channel that I've been overwhelmed and I'm going to be taking a break from the game. I don't even DM Ryan. He can see it right there if he cares to. I don't want to say it directly to him because it feels too similar to when he would tell me he's leaving for another DC. I don't want to emotionally manipulate him. I just need a break from all of it. I haven't let this ruin Final Fantasy XIV for me, but I did make a brand new character. I'm going to tell everyone I meet that I'm happily married, I think, to avoid anything like this again. Yeah, I mean, I found that line of probably the nurse at the hospital, like that was classic. Like you're getting all worked up and drained over a guy online, which is like straight facts. I mean, maybe they just don't understand how video games are. Like, that's how it is sometimes. Like, we start getting attached to, like, people that we meet in the game, right? So it does affect us and can definitely affect our work and our lives. Like, I know some people who raid so much. Iron! Who's right here dancing. He raged so much that it affected his work. It's draining. So to have drama on top of that, like, oh my god. No wonder she fainted. This story is, if you're a raider, it like kind of hits close to home, doesn't it? Because it's like, we know how tiring it can be. We know how people bitch and stuff about different classes and like the damage, parsing, all that stuff. There was a little bit of everything in this one. And then there's like the FC and statics. It seems tough to have to keep talking to the leader and saying like, hey, to the FC leader saying, hey, like this problem is having, this is a problem we're having in the static. And they're like, nothing to do with it, you know? But it's like, but it kind of does involve the FC because it's an FC static. So it's like, might as well just be separate from the FC, right? So you don't have to talk to any FC people about it. I think people forget games are meant to be fun and not stressful. That's true. Treat your static how you would treat work. It's like a business. Gotta be kind of professional about it. Gotta warn people in advance when you can't make it. Study, do homework if you can. Some people get annoyed if you show up and you don't know anything about the fight. It really just boils down to like what the static's goals are. That's the most important thing. Find out what the static's goals are. Make sure you're on top of those goals. Otherwise, people are going to be unhappy. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this Final Fantasy XIV drama story. If you have any of your own drama stories that you'd like me to share and read out anonymously, feel free to reach out to my Discord, discord.gg/Pathra.